Hey, it's Jameson. And I was about to do a project, and so I thought I would just film what I'm working on, and this is straight from a tutorial from Tabitha Burrill. She's fantastic. I will post a link to her video tutorial. You should follow her on YouTube. I'm going to post this in the video description. So I am not doing anything, kind of new and radical here from my own idea. This is straight from Tabitha, but I thought maybe you'd just like to see my project as I work on it and replicate what she did. So what I've got here, we're going to do a little bit of pressed glass into a piece of fiber paper as a mold. And so I've got just a small kiln shelf here. I've got some paper down on that, although it is a kiln wash shelf, but I put paper down. And then she used 3mm fiber paper and cut shapes into it. And that's exactly what I've done with some hearts. And don't discard these. You can use these for some other work. In fact, pay no attention to this project over here, but these will relate to something else, another video I'm shooting at a different point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these up with glass, and then I'm taking another kiln shelf. So this is a pressed project. I'm going to take another kiln shelf that's been kiln washed, turn it over, and put it on top of that glass and fire it. I'm going to use Tabitha's schedule. I may alter it a little bit for my own. But let me show you the process of filling this with some glass. I'm going to use some of her Murini. I'm also going to use some of her Murini scraps that she does, or some vitro scraps that she sells. And let's put something together, maybe a little frit. I'm just going to play around with this a little bit and see what I come up with. Okay, I'm not sure how these are going to turn out. This is truly an experiment. I had lots of this beautiful confetti from Tabitha, and so I filled up some of these hearts with her confetti, and we'll see how those go. And then I had these lovely little heart Murini rods from, or cane from Wilderness Glass, and so I cut a few of those up. I have never done this before. I have no idea how much glass to put in here. What's going to happen is, or in theory, is the shelves and the weight is going to smush this down into the fiber paper. It's going to take those forms, and that fiber paper is only, 2 to 3 mil thick, so it's going to be a relatively thin piece when it's done, if this works the way it's supposed to. Let's fire it and see what happens. This feels like it may be the craziest thing I've ever done. So the glass is down in there, can't see it. I've got a kiln shelf that's been primed and put on top. I've got a couple of tiles and some cut up kiln shelf to create some weight on top to smush all that down. Okay, well, Tabitha, you're a genius and I'm not. My first attempt at pressed glass. Mixed results. So I guess the good news is the kiln shelf on top was kiln washed well enough. Nothing stuck. I didn't have anything slide off in any kind of major catastrophe. But like in this one, there's just not enough glass. In this one, there's not enough over here, but it's spilled over the edge over here. Not enough in this one. Too much in this one. Not enough in this piece. Too much on the one on the left, probably okay on the one on the right. I think there's some cold working to be done. I have another load going in the kiln, so in order to, try to salvage these, I think I'm just going to add some frit to these and leave them where they are and just do another full fuse without pressing, and just let those kind of fill in and melt in and get a little smoother and see what happens. I might go ahead and pull out the one that's full, maybe these two as well, and do some cold working on them. So let's see what the next step of this looks like. Okay, so what I did here was I pulled those others out. I filled in with, some other frit to fill in the gaps. I piled a fair amount of some clear medium frit on here, put in some salmon pink frit in the other spots to kind of fill in, and we'll do a full fuse on these. So this is now kind of just more or less like a mini scrap melt, not necessarily the pressed glass that Tabitha envisioned, but I'm just trying to continue to salvage these pieces. There's still going to be a ton of cold working that needs to be done, I think, but let's go ahead and at least get them filled in and work from there. Okay, so a couple of thoughts on the pieces where I used Murini. Tabitha's Murini. Actually, some of it is Tabitha's. This is Tabitha's. This is from Wilderness Glass. Where I used Murini, they turned out great. I did have to trim off the edges, did a fire polish in the kiln. They're really cool. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but it's cool, and I can use them for something. So as far as following Tabitha's example, these turned out great. Where I deviated and tried to do my own thing, that's where I ended up with some mixed results. So I did take these out of the kiln after that last firing. They had spikes all over them, all around the edges. So I took them to the grinder, removed the murder spikes, and then am trying to decide what to do with them. In this case, they need more glass. There's just still not enough around the outside. So what I used though was Tabitha's some confetti that I bought from her, which is gorgeous. I also used some Murini. I didn't anticipate them to come out looking like this. They kind of look like, I don't know, like some aquatic animal, like octopus eyes or something. This thing looks like it's going to swim up and try to eat you. So the scary marine fish heart thing, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I did have a third one of these, which I decided to turn into a paperweight by taking this 3-inch Color de Verre mold that I have, 3-inch heart. I just used some scrap Tecta in the bottom, just cut some strips and some chunks of Tecta, put that in. And then this heart shape was actually the right size to kind of drop in there on top. Took that to a full fuse, then I fire polished it and ended up with something like this. So this was the third heart that I had attempted. I'll do something similar with these two pieces just to use up that glass. It's beautiful. It looks really nice through the Tecta, and so I'll find another way to use that. I'll probably put something in there to kind of cover these guys up, since scary fish is not really the aesthetic you want to go for a paperweight. So I'll stop rambling. This little red heart, same thing. I use some of her confetti, but not enough, and I'll figure out something to use with this. It's beautiful glass. So I will continue to learn. I'll post Tabitha's link. It was a brilliant tutorial. I really appreciated her doing that, and where I followed her guidelines, it worked. Where I deviated, I need more practice. So thanks for following along. Check out the video description notes to find the link to Tabitha's video. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and thanks for all the love you send me. Love to see your comments and reactions. Drop me a note. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've tried this, and subscribe to follow along for more videos in the future. Take care. Bye.